over the line or refusing a direct order from police.
He put my head like against the wall, and then he turned me over.
What this teenager is asking for after video of his arrest sparks a protest in Ann Arbor.
A group of lawmakers called for her resignation, and now that group will be meeting face-to-face with the Michigan State Police Director over her controversial Facebook post.
After 10 horrific minutes of gunfire into a crowd of 22,000, police are revealing how long it took them to get into the shooter's hotel room.
Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
A police officer takes down a teenager in Ann Arbor, and it sparks protest. Tonight, that teenager is telling his side of the story for the first time.
The video of the arrest was quickly shared on social media, and today hundreds turned out to protest the teen's arrest. Let's get right to our Mara McDonald. And Mara, this was because of a fight at the Ann Arbor Transit Center.
Kimberly, exactly. Let me set this up for you. So there's a fight at the Transit Center. Transit Center calls police. They come in there, they break the fight up, and they want everybody out of there. Now, Kaim was in there, but he says he had nothing to do with the fight, got there afterwards. And when he refused to leave, this is what happened next. Cameras inside the Transit Center capturing the Ann Arbor officer taking the teen to the ground after he refused an order from police telling him to get out.
And then he tried to grab me. I was like, watch out, bro, like you don't need to touch me, I'm walking. And then all of a sudden he yanks me up, and then I almost fall over, but he kind of caught me. And then we go into the transit, and then he said, if you move one more time, I'm going to take you down.
Kaim says he missed the fight at the Transit Center. He wasn't a part of it and just wanted to get on the bus. Police cleared the whole area because the fight was so out of control.
He was like, you got to leave right now. And he was pointing at me. I was like, what I got to leave? What did I do? He was like, you got to leave right now, just leave. And I was like, what I got to do? I'm waiting for my bus. And then he was like, leave before I give you a trespass. And I was like, what did I do? I ain't do nothing.
After that video of the police officer forcing him to the ground surfaced on social media, about 200 protesters marched in Ann Arbor, upset over his treatment. Kaim didn't participate, but his mom did.
Me and my friend, we got caught in something, so we couldn't make it. Yes, and I mean, for the protest, I think it was good. I think it's gonna change something.
Back here live, Kaim says that he would like an apology from the Ann Arbor Police Department. Meanwhile, the official word out of the PD is that all of this is still under investigation, but the officer in question is still on duty and still getting paid. Devin, Kimberly, back to you.
Well, Mara, Kaim, he hasn't been charged with anything, has he?
He has not been charged with anything. However, a warrant has been sent over to the Washtenaw County Prosecutor's Office for resisting as well as others. So we'll see what happens with that warrant request.
Okay, keep us posted, Mara. We appreciate it. And more news new tonight. A young man is hit and killed crossing the street in Milan. It happened near Celine Milan Road and Stony Creek Road. Deputies say the man was in the middle of the street when a car tried to swerve to avoid him, but ended up hitting him. He died from his injuries. The car did stop at the scene. The crash remains under investigation.
Tonight, police are revealing it took 75 minutes to get into the hotel room of the Las Vegas gunman Stephen Paddock after the first shots were fired. Investigators revealed tonight Paddock fired off 200 rounds into the hallway when a security guard first approached the room. Somehow that guard was only hit in the leg. Officials also confirmed tonight he had rented a room in downtown Las Vegas right about the same time a different music festival was being held the week before. We are also hearing from the shooter's girlfriend for the first time. Through her lawyer, she says she knew nothing about any plans for a massacre.
He never said anything to me or took any action that I was aware of that I understood in any way to be a warning that something horrible like this was going to happen.
The president visited Las Vegas today, meeting with first responders, medical workers, and victims of Sunday's shooting. Back here, dozens attended a candlelight vigil in Lincoln Park. Community Care Services hosted the vigil, which paid tribute to the victims and survivors of the shooting. It also recognized National Mental Health Awareness Week, which encourages those who suffer with mental illness to seek help.
All right, some breaking news tonight out of the West African country of Niger. That's where 3 U.S. Army Green Berets were killed in an ambush. Officials say the commandos were on a joint patrol with the Nigerian armed forces near the Mali border when they came under heavy fire. 2 other commandos were wounded in that attack.
The MSP director who shared a meme on Facebook calling NFL players degenerates will be meeting with lawmakers tomorrow. Colonel Christy Kippy Echu is expected to meet with the Legislative Black Caucus at 2 p.m. in Lansing. The group of lawmakers has previously called for her to resign. Echu has apologized for the post, but she's now facing an internal investigation to determine whether she violated any department's social media policies.
An explosion in a Taylor neighborhood kills an elderly woman and her daughter, and we're learning the family has lived in that community for 60 years. Jermont Terry joins us from Taylor as the investigation into what started the blast is getting started.
The house this mother and daughter shared is boarded up. They became trapped after something exploded inside. Then the fire spread quickly. Video captured by neighbors show firefighters in Taylor breaking glass to this house on Buck just off Telegraph. Before fire crews arrived, neighbors did more than just watch. They tried going in.
The smoke hit me in the face, but the heat was what prevented me from going in.
Terry Slayton knew a mother and daughter lived in the home burning across the street.
It's terrible that we lived here for 55 years. They've lived here 60. When I grew up with Judy, the other victim.
The mother was in her late 80s, the daughter nearly 60.
Neither one of them were on oxygen.
But something exploded inside the house first.
All of a sudden we heard a big boom. We thought it was coming from that way. Didn't know if it was an oxygen tank or a firecracker or a gun. We had no idea.
It's unclear what shook the neighborhood, but there's a good chance whatever it was started the fire. But neighbors insist it was not instant.
It's right around about 10 minutes before we saw the fire.
Crews found the mother in a bedroom. After rushing her to the hospital, she died. But the daughter, discovered only after the flames were out, I'm told burned beyond recognition. Neighbors watched in horror, hoping no one was home.
I couldn't believe it because we were all hoping that they were actually at a doctor's appointment or something.
The victims' family members were too distraught to talk on camera. They're just trying to come to terms with losing 2 family members in such a tragic way. This fire remains under investigation. Reporting in Taylor, Jermont Terry, Local 4.
Yeah, tragic indeed, Jermont. And at this time, fire investigators say there was no natural gas leak inside that home.
Today, Michigan lawmakers approved a bill to prevent communities from taxing unhealthy food and soft drinks. This bill's in response to the so-called soda tax that has been enacted in parts of the country, including Philadelphia and Chicago. While no local governments have proposed a tax on sugary beverages here in Michigan, this bill kind of serves as a preemptive strike. It prevents local governments from proposing taxes on soft drinks in the future. Major health insurer will no longer cover OxyContin prescription.
Why it is ending coverage for the popular painkiller and how soon patients will be impacted.
Also, she said she learned it from a friend. The scheme this woman used that got her free meals at close to a dozen restaurants. Ben?
Devin, we still have some showers out there tonight, but plenty of sunshine to start out tomorrow morning. A little bit cooler, and we could be seeing a hurricane landfall in the Gulf Coast by this weekend. We'll look at who's under the gun next.
Okay, Ben, but first, it's a drastic new policy being recommended to police departments.
Firing a wine shop in there is probably the worst idea ever.
The defenders look into this controversial technique and if it can be a solution to save lives. Next.
October, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but before you make a donation online, beware because not all charitable organizations are created equally. Tomorrow, starting at 6 a.m.
Next. With police under fire for deadly use of force, a drastic new policy is being recommended.
The return of the warning shot. Tonight, Defender Kevin Dietz examines this controversial proposal and if it is a solution that can save lives.
Police are taught that if they're going to fire their weapon, it's for only one reason, to kill the bad guy. But now there is a new recommendation to go back to warning shots, where police would fire into the ground or the air to de-escalate a situation.
Game faces, game day ready.
It's training day for the Troy Police Department.
All right, shooters out alive.
Officers sworn to serve and protect on the practice range with only one mission: hit the target. If an officer decides to pull the trigger in real life, it's to kill the bad guy. They practice over and over and over to shoot for critical mass, because the only time you shoot is when deadly force is required. But now there's a new way of thinking, and it's coming from the International Association of Chiefs of Police, recommending police departments nationwide allow officers to use warning shots instead of shoot to kill only. In the president's latest message, Association President Donald DeLuca defines a warning shot as, quote, discharge of a firearm for the purpose of compelling compliance from an individual, but not intended to cause physical injury, unquote. Adding that a warning shot must be fired into a safe target and must not pose a substantial risk of injury or death to the officers or others. The idea is to give police options other than shooting to kill. The local police say warning shots are a recipe for disaster.
Firing a warning shot in there is probably the worst idea ever. I mean,
Lieutenant Josh Jones of the Troy Police Department says the number of scenarios where a warning shot could backfire is scary.
To ask an officer to choose a safe location to fire a warning shot is a lot to put on even a highly trained officer.
If you shoot in the air, a falling bullet could hit an innocent bystander. And has there been cases where people have been hurt from that?
Yeah, there's been cases where bullets have been fired into the air, come down a great distance later and struck and injured people.
If you shoot in the ground?
You don't know exactly what is in the ground. Is there a stone or rock? Are you shooting on pavement, concrete? All those circumstances are going to determine if the bullet deflects.
If you shoot into a ceiling?
If you fire up into the air, it's drywall. You don't know exactly what penetration your bullet's going to have. Is there somebody that's upstairs?
Or into a floor?
If you fire into the ground inside, you don't know what's below, what's in the foundation. Is there a basement, a crawl space?
And what happens if one police officer shoots a warning shot and other officers think it's the bad guy shooting?
In a dangerous situation, an officer chooses to fire a warning shot, there's likely going to be other officers around. They're going to be responding to the scene.
Or the bad guy thinks police are shooting at them, so now they shoot back.
Maybe they'll give up, or they may fight back. And a subject that may not have intended to actually fire at police officers would be induced to fire on the officers.
Each department will decide if it wants to follow the International Chiefs of Police recommendation to add warning shots to their policy, but the city of Troy says it will not.
Troy is densely populated. Warning shots for our city would not be something we would look to implement in a policy.
It plans to continue training officers to shoot to kill, not shoot to miss. Remember, each individual police agency decides what its policy is going to be when it comes to warning shots. So if you have strong feelings one way or another, you are encouraged to call your local police department. Kevin Dietz, Defenders.
You know, only police officers can understand what that environment is like in that moment and whether it escalates or de-escalates things.
It's certainly a lot to consider when you factor all of those in. Here's a look at what Karen Drew is working on for tomorrow night.
Botox is known for making your fine lines go away.
It's more to prevent those wrinkles from coming in before it even starts.
She's not alone. Younger patients are asking for Botox to prevent wrinkles instead of erase them.
There's real science behind doing it this way.
I'm Karen Drew. How early should you consider Botox and the risks you need to know before you consider getting it done? Tomorrow at 11.
It has been on the dry side. I'm not sure we got the rain everybody needed today.
That's true.
A little
bit.
Little, yes, exactly right. There were some more showers that developed tonight. But most of those have stayed south of 8 Mile, and they're just about out of here. You see those exiting down towards Lake Erie. There's a little bit more of a organized complex there south of Luna Pier towards the state line. So as all these exit, this stuff that you see north of Monroe County, that's all radar trash. It's not actual precipitation that's out there. Once these exit, we're going to be dry for, let's call it about 24 hours or so, and then we're going to be seeing another shot of rain as we get into Thursday night. But these additional showers tonight doubled our total at Metro Airport. So we went from 1/100th to 2/100ths of an inch. So this really didn't amount to much. It sort of turn some of these zeros to .02s on the east side and 3 100s down here in Monroe, and that's about it. So still woefully below average as far as rainfall goes, not only for the month, but for the past few. 68 is where we sit temperature-wise. The west winds have decreased. They're down to 6 miles an hour. Pressure is actually on the high side at 30-21. This was kind of a complicated process that produced those showers. But what's not complicated is Tropical Depression 16. Even though it's not a named tropical storm yet, it will be very shortly, and this will likely become Nate as we get into tomorrow. A fruit fly in here. 35-mile-an-hour winds with a gust of 45. And you can see as this becomes a tropical storm, it's going to graze the Yucatan Peninsula, will become a Category 1 hurricane here by Saturday evening, and then eventually make landfall. According to the National Hurricane Center, the center of that cone is pretty much close to the Florida-Alabama state line. But you look at some of the other model guidance, it is well to the west of here. In fact, this little pink line, that's the consensus of all the models. And you can see that's pretty close to where the forecast cone is going, but there's a lot of data that suggests it may be a little bit west of there, so it definitely bears watching, and also depends on how it interacts with land as it moves through the Yucatan and the Nicaraguan coast. So back home, we're going to be watching for this front, same one that ran through today, to sort of bubble back to the north. We'll get a wave that comes through here Thursday night. This is 3 a.m. towards Friday morning. Most of Friday's dry, and then by the evening hours, a bigger push, hopefully of more widespread rain that's going to come through here. Definitely looks more promising than today's stuff. That'll last through the nighttime hours, and then could see another push as the back end of that front comes through as a cold front on Saturday. So lows tonight are going to be cooler, noticeably so, especially with the drier air too. 51 in the city, 50 down at the airport, and we will see a lot of 40s outside of that. In fact, south zone temperatures will be upper 40s to around 50 degrees. Pretty much all 40s out here in our west zone, including Novi and Canton, which is going to be at 49, and mid to upper 40s in our north zone for low temperatures tonight. Cooler highs tomorrow, despite all that sunshine. The cooler air on the backside of this front, it's going to keep temperatures in the low 70s. Even chillier Friday, and not a lot of sunshine to go with it. Weekend temperature-wise doesn't look half bad. Nope. We do have rain to contend with Saturday. So if you're going to the game, keep it here as we sort of refine that forecast.
Be prepared. Alrighty. A field, a flower, and a huge debate why this high school yearbook picture is being called inappropriate.
And a dangerous scheme. What this woman did at nearly a dozen restaurants just to score free food. Next.
A Ferndale mom is going to spend the next week, well, not that mom, that's actually Ben Bailey. We've got the video wrong, but a Ferndale mom is going to spend the next week in jail for failing to vaccinate her son. The judge said that Rebecca Bretto violated an agreement she signed with her ex-husband to get their son vaccinated. She says vaccinations go against her beliefs. She was jailed for contempt of court. Apologize for the video confusion.
City of Warren is taking a new approach to fighting drugs. Today, police rolled out People Against Illegal Drugs, or PAID for short. The program will pay anyone who reports drug activity $500 if the tip results in a warrant and arrest.
Henry the Hatter is returning to Detroit. Back in August, the iconic shop lost its lease, forced to leave its downtown Detroit location, but soon the nation's oldest hat retailer will be setting up shop in Detroit's Eastern Market, which is great news. A Florida woman has turned herself into police and admitted to playing a dangerous game to try to get free food.
Investigators say the 31-year-old scammed her way to free meals and gift cards at 11 restaurants in the same city. The woman would claim she found glass in her food. Sometimes her lips would even be bleeding, but it was all a scheme, and she put the glass in herself. She says she got the idea from a friend and that she did it for the adrenaline rush.
One health insurance giant is making a big move in an effort to try to stop opioid abuse. Cigna says starting next year, it'll stop covering prescriptions for OxyContin. That means people in need of that painkiller will have to pay full price. However, Cigna says it will make some exceptions in cases where OxyContin is deemed medically necessary by a doctor. In other words, no other options. It's a picture of a teen in a field holding some flowers.
But this Wisconsin high school senior's photo is being banned from the yearbook. Eleanor Fitzwilliam says it's because her shirt doesn't cover her entire chest. So she took to social media to voice her frustration about what she says is a double standard.
Here's my senior picture. Because you can see part of my bralette, it was too inappropriate. Yet, Here's the boys' swim team picture.
Eleanor has since submitted a different photo for the yearbook. The school has not commented, though, on the controversy.